here with us today in the person of Miss Anatasha Elliott. Welcome, Anatasha.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Every time I get to talk with local business owners, it's an honor for me, but it's even more of an honor to talk about beauty products. Isn't that right, Mimi? we joke about this all the time. So what can you tell us about what motivated you to begin this business?
Oh, okay. So I grew up in a house where we were reliant on what we produced. And so it enabled me to see a difference inside of like the health when it comes to the health scope of the island, to what I was experiencing, what my family was experiencing, and what the community around me was experiencing. And then being able to query, because as a child you're very curious, like why is everybody always sick around me and I'm not? I'm a mother. She would try to answer those questions and relate it to the food and our diets and just general life. So I grew up with those conversations happening at home. And so when I got to like my late 20s and I saw that, I was able to see that gradual shift. Like our diet was shifting and then we were getting sicker and sicker and sicker. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, this can't do. Right? Like, no, this can't do. So I sat down and I had a conversation with my mom and I was like, what can I do to sort of have a positive impact on what I was seeing? And she said to me, you're doing it already. You're just doing it on a very small scale. So why not scale it up? And I said to her, well, I will need access to family recipes to do that, right? She said, sure, just tell me what you need and we'll work it out. So we did. And I was able to use the first set of recipes, because these are recipes that I handed down to my family, so they're very precious to us, right? They're not something that I could just give away. Right. I have people come and they ask me, oh, can I? And I'm like, well, I need permission first, right? So I was able to get those recipes and to study. I went back to school. I did culinary arts because I wanted to get a better understanding of food and how it impacted our health. Mm-hmm. Because I already had a natural training, because my mom, she would always take us on walks and she would point out different herbs and tell us what they're for. And I would ask questions. I asked a lot of questions, like especially the older folks, because I was around them more often than younger people. So I already had these conversations happening, collating this information. So it was really just putting all of that information together and creating something that I thought could have an impact on what I was seeing happening. And so I started out safe, I would say. So I did the hair care and the body care. So we did the soaps, we had shampoos, conditioners, lotion, body scrubs to start first. And then my dilemma now was, how do I put them over to the public? Because, we don't really rally around local first.
Mm-hmm. True.
And so that was my dilemma, which is strange to have. I found it strange to have, but it was what it was. And I had to think about it, like, how can I get people to buy into what I was doing? Yes, I was passionate about it. I believed it, but others might not necessarily
have the same
or have the same experiences, right?
Right.
And so I looked around to see what was happening, and there was this beach festival, Spice Fest. It was the first year, and I was like, okay, so who's going to go to this event, and can they be my customer base? And because I was coming from a natural space, it was like, I didn't think that locals would understand what I meant when I said natural. Because to us, everything is natural. Because we're in a very virgin space, right? And so I said, okay, let me try it this way. Because I would have a customer base who understand what I mean when I say natural. And it would work for me because then they would try it, they would experience it, and they would talk to their friends who are local, right? And because they have friends who've used it, they would be more open trying the products. And everything sold that day.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay, so perfect time, right? Because time is important. So It was like perfect time. And then it just snowballed from there, really. It just snowballed from there. What I planned to do was just to launch the products and just to see how it went and just listen to people and let them guide the product development. I didn't want to put what I thought should be done onto people. I wanted them to tell me what they needed, what they wanted, and then create that way. And so that is what we ended up doing. And out of that, we ended up creating like a full 5 lines of product.
Yes.
So this is what you
so
have
this
here
is
with
really
us.
just 2 of the
Two of
lines.
the lines that you have.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
actually,
just
when you were
two.
reading her bio and you said small business, in my head I said big business because it's so many products, and then you've been all over the world talking
Yeah.
about sugar work. So can you tell us how was that experience? I mean, you said you started small, you started safe, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing you in headlines. You're in
Yeah.
Europe, you're all over the world. How has that experience been for you?
Well, a lot of that was driven by my desire to just learn as much as I can and just get the products to as much people as I can. When I started out, there wasn't a lot of services available for small businesses. And I came from a background where I did business in school, but secretarial studies. I did business at home. I did journalism. So I could communicate in the written word. I could do the media thing. I wasn't a very good speaker. I'm very shy.
You're my new best friend.
We can't tell that you're
No, I'm very much an introvert, but I had to learn extrovert tendencies. And so I started looking for programs that would force me out into the public where I had to learn those things. And so I did modeling.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
You missed our last segment, by the way.
Yes, I did modeling just to get comfortable a bit in front of a camera, on a stage, talking to people. Because before that, when I talk, my voice would broke, it would go very soft, you can't hear me. It was not a good representation. And so I just picked these little jobs that would give me the skills that I needed. So even within journalism, I did media work, I did editorial work, I did news, I did marketing, I did sales. I moved on into graphics and printing, just to get all
A
these
little
jobs.
bit of everything.
Yeah.
Which is combined here.
Yes, just come by right here. And then once I started the business, then my next task was how do I get programs that would give me the skills and the exposure that I needed? Because budget is small, I can't pay for marketing, at least not on the scale that I thought I needed or that I was seeing that would be beneficial. And so I found programs that gave me those skills, right? And allowed me to travel, and traveling sort of widened my viewpoint, right? So I was able to get to places like the UK where I would see packaging like this, right? And it started informed
What you did.
my packaging
So
and what I did and
can you tell
my
us what you
labeling and
have
stuff.
here?
So here I have my hair care, some of my skincare and bath and body products. So this is what we started out first. Yaffine, right, which is we call this line Little Collection. It's focused on damaged hair, right? So your hair is breaking, splitting, short. You want it to grow a little longer. You want it to feel
I love the way
softer.
you're looking at me like that.
I know because you're asking questions.
I know, it's
Sorry.
fine.
It's okay.
It's all
fine.
good.
It's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and then out of this, we built the bath and body products. So you have the body butters, the deodorants, the lotions, body wash, the soaps. Soaps from the beginning, but those two have evolved. So you have the facial baths as well as the bath and body baths. And then this is like one of our newest lines. This isn't our main bottles. Our bottles are more like this. So this is we call a premium line, right? So it's our skincare where you get all the inputs, what we call the clinical inputs, right? So the niacinamide, the hyaluronic acid, and those things
I might need to
that
take
we,
this one.
that women are looking for to get the skin tight and toned and looking amazing on the makeup or without, right? Especially right now we're wearing so many masks. We find a lot of women are breaking out.
Right.
And so the products are perfect for that.
Okay. So you were saying in the beginning that you started at first at home eating very local. You ate what you planted.
Yes.
So tell me how important is that part of like eating local, non-GMO? I'm assuming homegrown. How important are those things in your product line?
Okay, so even with the skin, what you put on your skin impacts your health, right? Because your skin absorbs a lot of,
right.
Your skin absorbs. What you eat impacts your health because it shows, right? Especially with us women, what we eat a lot of fatty foods, sugars, it shows on our skin. I tell people that sometimes even when your organs are declining, whatever, that will show on your face, right? So sometimes they come and they have a lot, and I'm like, okay, so you need to do a cleanse in addition to the products, right? So I don't look at it one-dimensional. I look at it as a holistic picture. So you need the products on your skin, but you also need your diet change or maybe exercise more, drink more water, that kind of thing. So we always have those little conversations, which are perfect for me because then it helps me to inform on product
Right.
But for me, I source a lot of products locally because I want to ensure that the product doesn't have any chemicals, right? That traceability factor is very important for us. We trace everything. So if you ask a question, I could tell you
Where it came from.
where these ingredients came from. It's something that we're going to put on the website. So you'll be able to scan a QR code and go to the
And
take
your
it to the
website is?
website, sugartownorganics.com.
SugartownOrganics.com.